So for blood glucose homeostasis, when you are writing in the exams, I told you you should write what is happening in fasting state, what is happening in well fed state, FED, well fed state. So in the fasting condition, fasting means not eating food, right? So not eating food. Sometimes those who are doing puja or in some special occasions, what you do, you will fast for whole day, correct or not? So in that case, when you are fasting for one day, complete whole day, when you are not eating food, still you are able to survive, right? There is no problem in your activities, because glucose is continuously produced in the body. Though you are not eating food, your glucose is available still to your body cells. Glucose is available still to your body cells. Please stop the microphone. Somebody's microphone is making noise. Turn it off. Yes. So in fasting condition, what will happen? Though we are not taking the food there, still body is able to produce the glucose in the body from various metabolisms, like gluconeogenesis. Gluconeogenesis means synthesis of glucose from non-carbohydrate sources like amino acids, okay, and the lipid degraded products and all. They serve as a source for the production of glucose via gluconeogenesis pathway. Then after gluconeogenesis, we have glycogenolysis. Glycogenolysis means breakdown of glycogen. Glycogenolysis means breakdown of glycogen. I already told you excess glucose in the body is stored in the form of glycogen in liver, in the skeletal muscles, in the kidney. So this excess glycogen during fasting condition is broken down and releases the free glucose. Glycogen is broken down and releases free glucose. That metabolism is called glycogenolysis. So via glycogenolysis, glucose comes from the glycogen breakdown. So like this, the body reserve already some amount of glycogen is stored, and this will be able to supply the glucose for about 9 to 10 hours. And depends upon the body stores also. So via gluconeogenesis and glycogenolysis, body is able to get the glucose for about 9 hours. So even if you don't take food for 9 to 10 hours, your body is able to survive. You are able to survive, and body is able to get the glucose via gluconeogenesis and glycogenolysis. So there is continuous supply of glucose. Even after 9 hours also, if we are in fasting condition, what will happen? The glucose is coming from the lipid stores. These lipid stores, fat stores, they undergo oxidation, fatty acid oxidation, and they start giving energy. But that is not carbohydrate reserve, that is a lipid reserve. So when we are talking about carbohydrate reserve, like glycogen and gluconeogenesis, they can support the body for about 9 hours. So you will get the glucose from these metabolisms. So in case of fasting condition, what will happen? This gluconeogenesis and glycogenolysis, they supply the glucose to the body. So body will get the glucose for about 9 hours in fasting condition. So there is no problem for the body cells up to 9 hours. So in the fasting condition, what will happen? There is a decreased glucose concentration in the blood. So as a result, to counteract the decreased blood glucose concentration, glucagon hormone is produced. This glucagon hormone, what it will do? It increases gluconeogenesis. See, increases gluconeogenesis, increases glycogenolysis. Gluconeogenesis means production of glucose from non-carbohydrate sources, and glycogenolysis means breakdown of glycogen. So by these two pathways, glucose is entering into the blood. So glucagon helps in maintenance of the blood glucose in case of fasting condition. Similarly, epinephrine promotes glycogenolysis, means breakdown of glycogen. Thyroxine is a thyroid hormone, increases gluconeogenesis. So it causes increased gluconeogenesis. So all these hyperglycemic hormones, they during fasting conditions, because the blood glucose is going down, there is no food, blood glucose goes down. As a result, hyperglycemic hormones are produced. They increases the gluconeogenesis and glycogenolysis and try to maintain the glucose level at a normal range, that is 70 to 100 milligrams per deciliter. So in a well-fed state means after a heavy meal. What will happen after a heavy meal? There is a increased absorption of glucose from the intestine, so there is increased glucose concentration in the body, in the blood. As a result, the excess glucose should be utilized, should be diverted for the body cells. So in response to the hyperglycemia, hyperglycemia in the body means increased blood glucose stimulates the production of insulin hormone. This insulin hormone, what it will do, it increases the glucose uptake by the body cells. It increases the glycolysis pathway. It increases the glycogenesis. It increases the HMP shunt. It increases the lipid synthesis. Excess glucose is stored for lipids. It increases the glycogenesis, means glycogen synthesis. Excess glucose is diverted for glycogen synthesis for storage. So the insulin counteracts to the increased blood glucose concentration and decreases the blood glucose. So these two hormones in fasting and well-fed state act in a balanced way and tries to maintain the blood glucose level at a normal rate, that is 70 to 100 milligrams per deciliter. So what will happen in well-fed state? Insulin is produced. In fasting state, glucagon is produced, epinephrine is produced, thyroxine is produced, glucocorticoids produced, growth hormones are also produced. So these hormones in fasting condition, they decreased blood glucose, they will maintain at the normal rate by promoting these two pathways. Insulin is produced in response to the hyperglycemia, means increased blood glucose concentration in the blood, and it decreases the blood glucose. So well-fed state insulin acts. In case of fasting state, glucagon, epinephrine, thyroxine, glucocorticoid hormones, they act. Okay, so this is how the blood glucose in the body is regulated.